What's going on, guys? This is Zoe with No Days Off DFS, here to bring you a quick NBA breakdown for the 9-game NBA slate we got today. Again, I still want to slap the damn schedule makers, because why is the Phoenix Suns taking on the New Orleans Pelicans that we just watched last night still on this slate? And unfortunately, it's going to be on the main slate for DraftKings. They should have stopped it at the 8 p.m. I really wish they would have stopped it at the 8 p.m. 7-game slate would have been perfectly fine. Like, we got one game starts at 7. Couple at 7:30, and then just give us the 8s. Like, that was it. We didn't need to have this game again, but I know exactly who would be probably the highest owned player, especially if he's in for tonight. If you guys looking for that information right there, and you guys enjoying this content, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what I drop over here, which I hope that you guys are subscribed, because like I said, more things to come over here on the channel. Your boy dropped one of my first actual notes and breakdown for you guys over here. Was trying to decide if I was going to do it in video form, try to make just like a 5-minute update video closer to lock, or if I just do notes. I'm probably going to do both, which is what I kind of want to think. When I have the time to actually just type something up, or correction, I don't have the time to do a video to really be able to get it out. Of course, you know, big family and whatnot. I will probably just do quick notes like this right here, giving you the stuff as stuff has updated throughout the day. Because as you guys can see, I record this stuff early, and then throughout the day, stuff changes. So if you guys were able to tune in and catch this, because last night was damn. I literally called it. If you want to get different, I can see a world where a low-owned Curry has a monster night, or France/Paolo. What goes out there happens. The babyface assassin goes out there and has 12 threes. 12 threes, 16 to 25 from the field, 56 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, drops 70 plus DraftKings fantasy points, and just legit obliterates the slate at sub 10% ownership. If you had Steph Curry last night, you were in a phenomenal, just good. And then Paolo France still too, 27 points, 3 steals, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. That's not bad. But Paolo, 41 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals. Like, that's still good stats. If you paired Curry and Paolo from that first game, you were set. You didn't need the Joker. You didn't need Giannis. You didn't need Kevin Durant or any other stud that was on the slate. Only other one that you could have played, which I made the mistake. I got literally tunnel vision for Kevin Durant. Thought the matchup was just perfect, too good. Everything, this, that, and the third. Forgot. It's truly guards versus the Pelicans and centers. That's what you take. Why are you messing with the power forward/small forward? You don't need to touch that. It's guards versus the Pelicans. That's where we go. And of course, Devin Booker goes out there and has a phenomenal night, 60 plus fantasy points. It was the D-Book show, not the Kevin Durant. That's on me. That's on me. But hey, you live, you learn, you remember some things. Legit, the process is still there. Everything is still there. It was not bad. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, the core last night wasn't bad at all. Hawkins, he went out there, did his thing. Matt Christie, he got sub value. Definitely could have used a little bit more from him. Bobo wasn't bad. Almost dropped 30 fantasy points, finished at 29. And then the Joker, who, of course, another one I got tunnel vision on and was focused on. He did pretty well. I will admit, though, when the news came out that Beal was going to be out, I put another update. I swapped from Joker to KD. I did. Straight up did. And as you guys can see, my line, it got killed, got cooked. Definitely had to swap some stuff around, trying to make it up and whatnot. Found a way for me to get someone from the late night game to see if I couldn't scrounge my way to cash. Didn't happen, didn't work. But again, you live, you learn, you remember some things, and you just add it to your process and make sure that you guys can, you can get it right moving forward. You don't make the same mistakes and whatnot. But hey, not bad at all. Really do wish that we didn't have that game again on the slate, but I mean, shit, cat's out of bag. Bradley Beal plays tonight. That's who you play. In the exact same spot that Devin Booker was in last night. Price, I don't believe his price moved at all. We'll look at all that when we get over there to actually DraftKings, but it'll be Beal that you want to take from there, because I don't think we're going to see another triple-double Zion game, which, let's talk about that for a second. He finally plays 31 minutes, and I don't play him. 31 minutes, and we've been talking about how great Zion would be if he could actually just play 30 plus minutes a night. 31, triple double, like, man. Injury report for today. We got the Denver Nuggets taking on Detroit Pistons. Denver's on the back end of back-to-back. They played pretty heavy minutes last night. I would not be surprised if somebody from over here on Denver is going to be out. Now, the spread is currently sitting at 237 total. Denver's defense is jack dilly billy shit. To be very honest, it is really bad. But I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Gordon sits, considering he was fresh off of an injury. Westbrook possibly could be out. Maybe that might open up some more minutes for Schroeder on the bench or something like that. I really just feel like somebody should be sitting from Denver, just because that's kind of what we've seen in the past. I would be surprised if they do play, if everyone plays on a back-to-back. So one team that I will pay attention to, and of course we'll get that news, it's a 7 p.m. tip. Detroit side of things, nothing that we got to worry about over there. Fontecchio, he's back. Dennis Schröder, he's back, but that's it. Cade Cunningham, really a great spot for him. Even though Dame didn't really light it up last night, I think Cade is going to take fully advantage of this matchup. Like, it should be a masterpiece from Cade. Just the way that Detroit is playing, period. Like, it's killer. OKC taking on Atlanta. No news for the Thunder. Atlanta, Trae Young, game time decision, but fully expect for him to play. Nothing else to worry about over there, except for easy. If you're watching this, for those who don't know, your boy's about to have a new OKC jersey to be able to either wear or hang up. Might be one of the first ones to hang up. I don't know. Because made a bet with my boy Easy. I told him that if the Atlanta Hawks can win 1 out of the 2 games that we play them, I'll buy whatever Hawks jersey you want. If the Thunder full sweep, you get me whatever OKC jersey I want. We made the bet. It's locked. It's packed. We already won the first game. We're gonna win the second one. Easy day. I mean, Vegas knows what's up. 242 total. God dang. 242 total with a 12.5 point spread. That's woo. Cleveland taking on Boston. We've seen this time and time again. No news for Cleveland. Drew Holiday popped up on injury report yesterday. Expect for him to possibly play. And then Jaylen Brown, he sat last game, but should be back today. Portland taking on the Brooklyn Nets. Denny Avdia left last game with a contusion, quad contusion. Might be back today, might still sit out. Jeremy Grant, new thing popping up on the injury report. Hopefully he plays. If not, might just mean some more minutes for someone else off the bench. We'll figure that out when we get over there to breakdown. Brooklyn Nets, their side, they're going to get Claxton back here today. Clowney, D'Lo, Whitehead, they're all going to be out. Toronto Raptors, Scotty Barnes missed last game, should be back today. Chicago Bulls, Ayo Dosunmu missed his last couple games, might be finally back today. If not, we'll still see Lonzo Ball, Kobe White, and Josh Giddey in the starting lineup. And then Vooch is doubtful to play, so we will get Zach Collins at the center spot. Indiana taking on Miami. TJ McConnell missed his last 2 games. Might be back today, might not. Miami, Bam was on the injury report last game. Fully suited up and played. Expect him to do the same here today. Same thing, Andrew Wiggins. I expect for him to be in. I haven't seen anything indicating that he's going to actually be out. New York Knickerbockers taking on Memphis Grizzlies. Josh Hart, game time decision, was game time decision his last couple games, but has played in both. And then Karl-Anthony Towns missed last game due to his knee. Might be back. Hopefully he is, because all they got right now, because they got Precious. That's pretty much it. Kuna Matata went and tore his meniscus or something like that, so he's gonna be out. And yeah, their rotation, their big rotation is kind of getting shitty over here. That's crazy. Got the start and then fucked himself up. Memphis Grizzlies, Desmond Bane, game time decision. Hopefully he's in and plays. I would imagine we're going to get some news from this Pelican and Phoenix team, besides the fact that Beal should be in and play today. They just held him out the front end. I would imagine he should be in. He's going to play. On the flip side of things, Kelly Olynyk might be in, might actually play and be back. If not, Carlo will probably just start again. That's just going to be it. Heading over to DraftKings, the site I play the most on the site. If you guys don't got an account, you want one, check the link down in the description box below so you guys can get that deposit match bonus and join your boy over here on the Kang. All right, guys, we got to lock in. I got to lock in. Hopefully you guys are doing better than what I am with some of the stuff over here. Definitely, you know, I know I'm not going to cash every day, but I do hope that someone else is at least making some money. If you're doubling up, tripling up, quadrupling up, just something. Let's get the good times rolling. Denver Nuggets taking on the Detroit Pistons. In all honesty, I feel like it's just we're missing something, because there should be some news coming out from this over here. I just feel like it is. Now, if Aaron Gordon says, Russell Westbrook says things like that, his price, I talked about it before, coming back down to that 6K range, Christian Brown will be one of the de facto guys I would want to go to and get to, just simply because he's going to have a couple more shots for him. He's going to do a little bit more for the fact of you're not going to have those guys out there. We already know that the kid crashes the glass very well. He can play make. He can get a couple of assists, but also plays very good on defense. And his offense, he can knock down some threes and things of that nature. So I like the upside. 5.5, really great price tag. Wouldn't hate that at all, especially if other players were to miss on today. Again, just got to get that news. And I really feel like we should have that news. The Joker's the Joker. That's all I'm going to say in regards to that. They did play earlier this season, 37 minutes to drop 61 fantasy points, which of course that's typically what we're going to get from the Joker, depending on the matchup. Michael Porter Jr. shot like ass last night, literally ass. 2 of 11 from 3, 5 of 22 from the field, 22 field goal percent, like straight up ass, but somehow still dropped 33 fantasy points. If you think that he's going to be in possibly for a bounce back spot, he did drop 31 fantasy points in that game against them early in the season, 6-1. I would rather just go ahead and play Christian Braun for the possible upside. Take a stab at like a Strother, a Zeke Naji off the bench, if anything at all. If Jamal Murray might get ruled out or something like that, Russell Westbrook to get put into the starting lineup, then maybe you can mess with Russ. Wouldn't hate that at all, especially if he was to start at 5'6". We would take that all day, every day. But if they do rule out Russell Westbrook and Jamal Murray is in, or maybe we could think Jamal Murray might be limited, then we are going to want to look towards Pickett. We have seen it before. Pickett has gotten some decent burn and run in certain games. That would be one that would be like a real deep GPP option. Not saying like, hey, yo, Pickett's the sneaky, he's about to pop off and give us a really great night type play. No, not what I'm saying at all. On the flip side of things, going over here to Detroit side, Cade is Cade. Cade, triple-double upside, just literally giving us, right now his floor is 40 for his production. And I would imagine he would get that. Long as Denver can keep the game close, that's going to be the key here in the matchup. Versus them early in the season, didn't have the best game in the world. Played 30 minutes, only dropped, played 27 minutes, dropped 30 fantasy points in that game. So definitely a bounce back candidate versus them. Not saying bounce back candidate from what he's been doing. His upside is there. Definitely at 10-2. You can mess with that right there. But I will say we've seen it still, opposing centers, long as he keeps himself out of foul trouble, he can smash just like every other center that has gone up against Nikola Jokic in the past several games. Brook Lopez, 33. Miles Turner, 36. Nurk, 35. Donovan Clingan, kind of an archetype like Duren, except for Clingan can pull out there and knock down a couple of threes. But the rebounding upside, the putback upside, also the block and steal upside, Clingan is kind of that archetype right there. 52. So depending on what Jalen Duren comes out here, if he's going to just be up for the challenge, not be too handsy, I could definitely see a world where he goes out there and can pop off. Asar Thompson, minutes, I'm liking what I'm seeing right there. Another one that if he can keep himself out of foul trouble, can be in for a big day, especially depending on what side and what way this game goes. Stuff stat sheet, of course, in all areas. Did you guys see he almost dropped Tatum, and honestly should have went for that finish instead of trying to pass the ball and get an assist right there, because he had the shot. But Asar, I do like him, 5-1. That's a really great pass tag for him. If you want more security, the minutes and the upside, I definitely would mess with Tobias Harris here. We know he's going to play over 30+ minutes. As long as the game stays competitive, he will be out there. Definitely I guess you could technically say the B option behind K. Typically going to be the one we see end up having to get his shots, things like that. I wouldn't mind going with Toby over there. Other than that, not really too interested in everyone else off the bench. I understand that Dennis Schroeder, he's going to go out there. He's going to play at least roughly 20 minutes. You can chase the Malik Beasley off the bench if you want to, but understand that his minutes are definitely capped and limited in regards to what he goes out there and he gives us, and he has to do that all within his 20 minutes. The OKC side, let me give my flowers to my boy Chet. 32 minutes, 61.75 fantasy points, 22.17 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals. The boy is back. Honestly, it's been a build-up, and you can see it over his last several games. Utah, Minnesota, and then just the explosion versus the Brooklyn Nets, and another spot for him to explode again versus the Atlanta Hawks. Wouldn't mind getting out here to Chet at 7-2. Long as the game stays close enough for him to be out, pretty much just be out there and do it. I like the upside. In the first game that he did play versus them earlier in the season, because he was there for that, he played 33 minutes in that game, dropped 56 fantasy points out there. So wouldn't mind going right back to that well of my boy Chet. Outside of Chet, definitely can mess with, of course, Jalen Williams, who does play pretty well on the road for the most part. 35.75 fantasy points in that game versus the Brooklyn Nets, and versus the Atlanta Hawks earlier this season. 33 minutes, she dropped 42 fantasy points. It's a good matchup, good spot. Small forward, power forward, both of those have done pretty well because they're not dealing with the Dyson Daniels defense. Dyson Daniels is, of course, going to be on SGA. That's who he's going to be focused on. That is who he's going to be trying to clamp up, but ain't gonna cap. SGA did drop 70 on the Atlanta Hawks early in the season. Now, I'm not going to say that's what I'm expecting for S to do here in the spot. 10-7, it is a bit pricey, a little bit touchy right there. don't necessarily think I need to get up there. I do feel like the axillary pieces in Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren here in this spot definitely will be able to pay dividends instead of going all the way up to Shea. But Shea is, of course, one of those safe players that you can mess with. You can go to if you want to. If you're looking for possible bench players, I really don't like going to Wiggins unless someone's injured and out. But Wiggins, you can definitely go there. Queso, you can definitely mess with that. But just stick with the studs here, or the main guys here, to me in my eyes. SGA, Jalen Williams, Chet, those would be the guys I go to. And if I would have to rank them, which I ranked them already, it would be Chet, J-Dub, and SGA. Hartenstein, just with Chet being back, his minutes seem to be like in that 25-ish range is where he's kind of going to be at right now. Definitely, of course, they're still trying to figure out the flow, having him integrated, having Chet integrated in there with iHeart, the double big lineup, how that's going to work, how it's going to flow for them. They're still working out kinks, and that's why I think some of these teams are actually staying as close as what they are with the Thunder lately. So I guess I could see that the high ass total being what it is. That 240, Jesus, that is still crazy for total. On the Atlanta Hawks side, of course, Trae Young. If you want to get up to Trae, who's going to have to deal with some pretty good defense, you definitely can't go there. Trae versus us earlier this season when he did play in that game did not have his best day. 37 minutes, 33 fantasy points. I will say, Dyson Daniels, I will continue to go there. I don't mind going to Dyson just because he does have that block and steal upside and everything what he does on the defensive side. I know going up against us earlier this season didn't do the best that he could out there. 23 fantasy points, but he's been pretty consistent over his last several games. Would be something I wouldn't mind looking towards if I wanted to get to there. Now, I will say still, opposing bigs. I'm not going to say Okongwu's going to go out there and do what Shaedon Sharpe just, or was it Shaedon Sharpe? Or Day'Ron Sharpe. What Day'Ron Sharpe just did versus us. But Okongwu can cook. Definitely, I know that he will try to stretch the floor, knock it down from three. That is a possibility. And the opposing centers, last several, of course, Naz Reid, another 3-point shooting big, went out there, 40+ fantasy points in back-to-back games versus us. Walker Kessler dropped 32, and just, Jesus Christ, Nas just fucking cooked us, man. But Okongwu, 5,600, definitely I could see us messing with that as a possible play that you want to get to. And then, of course, off the bench, still, Georges Niang would be the only one I would be pretty confident in just because he's going to play over 20-ish minutes. And if Niang's knocking down his shot, that's going to be the big key. If Niang's shot is falling, he can go out there and have a very great day. And we are not above giving up some 3-point shots. We've seen it time and time again. Karis LeVert, I just think that it's a mixing spot in regards to what you're going to actually get from him. You can mess with that if you want to. I mean, I see the minutes are trending up. He's playing over at least 25, at least averaging over 25. You can go there if you want to, but I would much rather just mess with Georges Niang, who I really do think has the upside. And Ricochet, I'm not too sure on this kid. Definitely just up and down would be more of a GPP option if you want to mess with that at all. For me, I'm really kind of just staying clear away from that right there. Cleveland Cavaliers going up against Boston Celtics. I do imagine that Darius Garland would be back today. He's not listed on the injury report, so he should be good to go. If Garland's in, I don't mind getting to Garland as a possible play. Donovan Mitchell, SN at 8-4. Of course, you guys already know, golden child for me, Evan Mobley. Opposing power forwards, this is a spot that you can attack the Boston Celtics at least it seemed like over the last several games. Tobias Harris dropped 36. Scotty Barnes dropped 36 as well. Josh Hart, 47. So the way that he's been playing lately, the scoring, the rebounding, also a little bit of the playmaking, the defense, everything's been there. It's been clicking for Evan Mobley. I know he hasn't done the best versus the Celtics the last time that they played. 28 minutes, only 15 fantasy points. But before that, he did drop at least over 35 fantasy points in both meetings before that, 48 and 35 fantasy points. So definitely upside can be there for him. They are on the road in the Garden, so maybe. Outside of that, really not going to go too much. I would really just focus on the starters here. Don't really want to go to Jared Allen going up against Kristaps Porzingis or Al Horford down there. DeAndre Hunter, if you want to go and mess with that, you can. I really don't see myself having to get to the bench. It would really just be Garland and Mobley for me if I was to take anything over there. That's just where I'd be locked into. On the Celtics side of things, long as everyone is back, everyone's good to go. The price is sitting at 8K. I could definitely get jiggy with that price at 8K. If he's not injured. If the thigh was just a reason to keep him out of the game, I don't mind going to JB. Going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers, he's done decent. 33 fantasy points in both games that he has played versus them. Opposing small forwards, they can cook. They just let Franz Wagner drop 34 fantasy points himself as well in 35 minutes. So upside can be there. But if there is no JB, of course, Jason Tatum under that 10K price range. Not bad. We have seen that he had been cooking over his last several, almost averaging a triple-double over his last couple of games. 46, oh wait, not 46, 49, 54, 45, 39, 64 fantasy. Like, he's been putting up some really great numbers versus Cleveland in his last couple of games. He dropped 65 in the first one, 54 in the second one, 46 in the last one. And that last one, I kind of think that one might have actually been a blowout, but then Cleveland made it close somehow. But definitely, JT, you can go right there to that. Derek White, consideration. Drew Holiday, for some reason, he always seems to get ownership, especially because his price is probably underneath that 5K range, and we know that he can go out there and give us a big day. But he has not played Cleveland well at all on the season, so I would definitely steer away. It's kind of weird that Peyton Pritchard is priced up more than him, but Peyton has been playing the minutes. If somebody misses, then you have to just consider Peyton Pritchard. Like, you have to. The minutes, the upside, everything that he's doing, you cannot ignore that. You would have to go there in that direction. Outside of that, now we're looking towards Hauser, Quetta, or Craig. None of those guys really interest me over there. It's JT, Brown, and then if Holiday gets ruled out for whatever reason or something like that, Peyton Pritchard over there for me. Portland taking on the Brooklyn Shitters. Really do need that news on Denny Avdia if he's going to be in or out, because if with Avdia out, the production upside goes up for players like Kamara, for Shaden Sharp to possibly be back into the starting lineup, for Anthony Simons, all of those guys. Everything goes up for everyone else with a player like Denny Avdia, who was doing everything out. If Avdia is in, no minutes limit, I don't mind looking towards him in that direction. That would be one that I could get to for sure. But again, good spot. Don't mind going up to Anthony Simons, 32 fantasy points in that game going up against Washington. Could definitely give us a little bit more, but we can get there to him. Kamara, like I said, the upside definitely does go up because he can do a little bit more, definitely on the rebounding glass, and then locked in on defense. Fouled out of the game versus Washington, so there's that right there. Outside of that, Shaden Sharp went off 57.5 fantasy points. Of course, 36 actual points does help quite a bit, but I would imagine that he would get the start again if Denny Avdia was to be out, or maybe Denny Avdia is in, Jeremy Grant is out, and they move Denny Avdia back to the 4. That could be another possibility that we actually see, and we still get Shaden Sharp in the starting lineup. I wouldn't mind going there in that direction. But I do believe that this is Kamara's former team, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let me check that out. Never mind, his former team was the Suns. Didn't realize he was drafted by the Suns. Wow. I don't know why I felt like he played for the Brooklyn Nets. It just seems like he would be a Brooklyn Net type player. But versus the Nets earlier this season, played 38 minutes. He dropped 42 fantasy points. Not going to say he's going to repeat that, but he is in line, especially if Denny Avdia was to miss. I like the upside for the kid in this matchup. And then, of course, if you want to mess with it, it is a good spot for Donovan Clingan versus Claxton. I don't mind it. But again, Clingan's minutes, they are just all over the place. You tell me that he can play starting center minutes, but you're not giving him starting center rotation, burn, and run. I understand he was in foul trouble last game. Maybe if he keeps himself out of foul trouble here, he could be able to go out there and give us a wonderful performance. But again, that's going to be up to him if he can. Versus the Brooklyn Nets earlier this season, he played 22 minutes and dropped 28 fantasy points. So maybe we can get something like that from him here. I just won't count it out. Over on the Brooklyn Nets side of things, Keon Johnson, we can go there to him, 5-1. We know that he's going to be secure in regards to his minutes. Claxton, of course, fresh off of his suspension. He was playing 30-plus minutes before his suspension. Good spot for him that we could possibly mess with. Cam Johnson looks like he is the de facto number 1. I'm actually going to go out here and ball out finally. Player 6'6". You can definitely, not Cam Thomas. Why did I click on Cam Thomas, not Cam Thomas, Cam Johnson. There we go. 6,200. We could definitely go towards him. We know that if his shot is on, he's going to be able to go out there and give us some great upside, some production right there. And then the safe play that I always tend to go to is Zaire. Steady Freddy, almost pretty much. I know I'm going to at least get about 25 fantasy points from him, and I definitely could take that here, especially going up against the Portland Trail Blazers. I don't mind it. Cam Thomas. He's been cleared to play in Friday's game against Trailblazers. He missed his last 24 games with a hamstring injury. Thomas will return to the floor Friday for the Nets. Definitely interesting that Cam is going to be back. That's going to mess with the guard rotation right there for them. So I would say more of the forwards and the bigs would be in safety and consideration. That does take some shots away from Cam Johnson, but I would imagine he would have to be coming in on a minute limit. It would not just be full-fledged, good to go, like go ball type thing, especially you guys are trying to lose games. The Nets are not trying to win at all whatsoever. Toronto Raptors taking on Chicago Bulls. Depending on what's going on with our boy Scotty Barnes. Scotty, he's questionable. Missed Wednesday's game with a hip contusion. That's Saturday remain limbo for Friday. I would imagine that he should be back. Contusion is just typically a bruise, unless it's something serious or they are trying to tank or do something crazy. Then I can imagine they would set him out. But we'll go with if Scotty Barnes is out, of course, RJ Barrett, Iman quickly. Both these guys get a boost. And of course, Quick going up against the Chicago Bulls. Hopefully he doesn't pull a Harden. He can knock down his 3-point ball. He's getting us those rebounds. He's getting us those assists. And he's also playing some good defense. 7,200. I like the price. Don't mind it. Definitely a great spot. And we can see some really good upside. RJ Barrett, same thing for him. 77. I know he can stuff the stat sheet, especially if Scotty Barnes was to miss. Definitely a redemption to go out there and get us over that 20 points because he was on a roll before that last game versus the Indiana Pacers. I can definitely see the upside for him here. Taking him right here, 7-7. It could be there for him. Definitely a good spot. I'm pretty sure that they have played versus these guys earlier already on the season. Versus the Bulls in the first game, he dropped 55 fantasy points. Second game, he dropped 34. So definitely couldn't go right back to him. Quick only played in 1 out of the 2 games versus Chicago Bulls so far, and that was on January 31st. And in that game, he went out there and he played 15 minutes and dropped 25 fantasy points. So upside definitely there for Quickly and for RJ Barrett. Both these guys like it. Outside of that, Nakapoto, we do know opposing centers. You typically do. You can take them versus Toronto, but you can also take them versus Chicago. If he's going to maybe see his minutes bumped up, who am I kidding? Just play Zach Collins. Just play Zach Collins, man. Outside of that, Grady Dick, of course, if his shot is falling, we know that he'll go out there and give us a decent performance. Safety right around 20-ish fantasy points. And then if Scotty Barnes misses, Ochai Agbaji will get the start. You can go there. And then, of course, that'll leave more room and burn and run for your GPP darling that people like to run to and hope that they're chasing the good game, and Chris Bouchard. On the Chicago Bulls side of things, I literally just talked about it. Just play Zach Collins. He's 5'5" versus a 6'1" for freaking Podol. Like, there's no reason to get cute right there. Just play the great fantasy point production and upside of Collins. I would imagine at least 30 plus fantasy points. That would be the floor I'll give Zach Collins here in this spot. Outside of Zach, just Josh Giddey. He's now 8-1. Josh fucking Giddey is 8-1 after 4 straight games of over 50 fantasy points. And he's in line again for another spot where he can go out here and deliver another great performance. In the first game that he played versus them, November 5th, he dropped 45 fantasy points and he started that game. Second game, he did not start versus them. I'm lying, actually. I'm lying out my ass. Hold up. Wait a minute. Ooh, I was lying. All my looking at my notes and stuff, pulling up game logs and everything, I had clicked on the wrong player. So Josh Giddey, first game versus them back December the 16th, he dropped 39 fantasy points. Second game back in January 31st, he dropped 35 fantasy points. So Josh has actually played pretty well going up against Toronto. I would imagine the role that he's on, again, it's that 3 ball. 4 of 4 from 3. I'm not going to say I'm a believer completely in Josh, but that boy, he cooking. He's feeling it, man. Double-double once again. Definitely was in line to get a triple-double. He could have got there. But yeah, definitely don't mind going to Josh Giddey here, 8-1. I mean, the upside's just been there. This game environment, of course, this is a stackable game and everything. I could definitely mess with that as a possibility, not just stacking wise, but also from a sportsbook perspective. If you're playing on FanDuel, DraftKings, I wouldn't mind stacking several things from this game, and I can go over that real quick. From Toronto side, from the Chicago Bulls side of things, Josh Giddey, of course, like his points, his assists, possibly take a floor on the rebounds, but you can either go that or his PA or his PR, just depend on which one you want to get, but get the safety right there. I wouldn't go over 25 for a PA or a PR right now. Just considering that, maybe taking for 2 threes. That would be just because I don't believe in 3 threes, 4 threes, and all that other stuff. I right now, the 3-point production upside is there. Maybe taking for 2. I can see that right there. Kobe White will be one I take for about 15 points, if anything. And Zach Collins, I would take him for a double-double. Rebounds and his points, that would definitely just be the safety net that I could take right there over there. Back to the DFS side of things, Buzelis, the minutes, they are up and down, up and down. But you can definitely mess with him if you want to. Again, really it's going to be with Zach Collins just in that starting lineup. I'd just rather get to him. Just as long as he keeps himself out of foul trouble, he's going to be great. Lonzo Ball, if AO misses, he should get to start again. Bounce back in a big way. 31.5 fantasy points, 28 minutes. Great game from him right there. Outside of that, definitely, of course, Kevin Huerter. I know that his minutes pretty much kind of look secure, especially if AO was to miss again. 4,300 is too cheap in regards to a guy that's going to go out there and play over 25 minutes. We could definitely go right back to that well and go there again. But again, AO needs to miss right there. On Toronto Raptors side of things, quickly assist and his points would definitely be one, and you could definitely mess with his threes as well. He hasn't hit them over his last couple games, but the shot volume has definitely been there, and I know Quick is actually a decent three-point shooter. Wouldn't mess with Poto just quite yet, just because he's on that minute limit. But RJ Barrett, definitely one that you would probably take for his points for sure. Would have to look and see which one you would feel better with. His rebounds, probably his rebounds, not his assists, because with Scotty Barnes back and then quickly, not really going to be dishing the rock too much if Scotty is back. But definitely his points, rebounds would be one I would take right there. Points, assist, and threes would be what I would take for quickly. Scotty, depending on if he's back or not, would definitely be, you could look at all three categories right there for him. New York Knickerbockers taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. When these teams played early this season, the Knicks guys went off versus them. Towns had a pretty good game, 40+ fantasy points. Josh Hart and both OG and Nobi popped for 40+ fantasy points. What's his name? Bridges, he popped off, had a pretty big game as well. So again, all these guys, just because the pace of play that Memphis plays at, and you got New York Knicks, they're not a fast team already as is. But when you're pushing the pace and everything, like it's the upside will be there for all these guys. Josh Hart, if he's in and Towns misses again, I could definitely go there just because I know his rebound and his triple-double upside that he has, it'll be there. I wouldn't mind that at all for Josh. That would be one I could possibly get to. Brunson, of course, with no Towns, he's going to have to take more of a scoring load. Definitely, of course, dishing a rock. As long as those two things come together, you can go there. But 9,200 would just probably come down to either Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, or OG. If Precious has to get the start, you're going to be dealing with Zach Edey, but he can stretch the floor if he's actually able to knock down his three. You can definitely mess with Precious. Outside of that, really, that's going to be it. We just need to know if Towns is going to be in or not. If Towns plays, I really don't have any interest at 10K. That's a little bit too much for me with the matchup, given what it is. On the Memphis Grizzlies side of thing, I really hope Desmond Bane plays because I did like Desmond Bane as a play for today. I do think that the price tag sitting at 7.4, I could definitely mess with that. But if Bane misses, then of course it's going to be a boost for John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. Both those guys would be in firm contention and firmly in play if that's going to be the case. Ja only played 27 minutes in that first game versus the New York Knicks, dropped 17 fantasy points in that game. JJJ himself as well. They got blown out in that game too, by the way. If I didn't say that already. Because it was a 106 to 143. Like just ass whooping from the Knicks. But JJJ, 33 minutes, dropped 29 fantasy points. We could definitely possibly give us a little bit more. And then Desmond Bane, he played 30 minutes. He also dropped 27 fantasy points. But I really do like the spot for Desmond Bane. I don't know. Something has just been sticking out to me with Bane being decent value to me in my eyes. All these guys definitely can, not necessarily saying you got to have a run back because the game total is not going to be as high as what it was last time. Actually, it is. It's a 244.5. There's no freaking way. 4-point spread in favor of the Knicks. So maybe Towns might sit today. Not favor of the Knicks, favor of the Grizzlies. Maybe Towns might sit. If you got the Grizzlies favored like that, I understand they're at home, but still. Indiana Pacers taking on Miami Heat. Tyrese Halliburton, of course, going to go right back to the well. The kid, he is shooting lights out right now. 67.75 fantasy points. As long as he doesn't have to deal too much with Davion Mitchell, I do think the upside will still be there for him. The 3-all is freaking cooking. But if you shut him down from scoring, he's still going to be able to facilitate and dish the rock. And you got to worry about Pascal Siakam having a good day. Miles Turner having a good day. Mathurin coming off the bench, popping off, having a good day. Nembhard, if he remembers how to shoot again, him being able to go out there and do decent. Neesmith, who is going to probably foul out and get himself into foul trouble, him going out there knocking down a ball or two as well. But Halliburton would be one of the prime targets, one of the studs I wouldn't mind getting up to. He's going to eventually hit that 9K mark again, just from the way that he's playing in the trajectory. It's just been there. Now I understand Trae Young didn't have the best games going up against them, but Damian Lillard 45.75 fantasy points, Iman Quickly 40.25 fantasy points, SGA 57, Hallie, just with the upside and the production that he actually brings, I do feel like this is gonna be one of those spots he can go out there and give us a big day. When he played them early in January 2nd, he dropped 72 fantasy points against them. Not gonna say he's gonna give us 72, but he has dropped at least 40 in both in the other 2 games versus them because they played 3 times. Now, I don't think any of those games were with Davion Mitchell, who is a much better defender than what they had on the team with Tyler Hero, Terry Rozier, and whatnot. But still, upside definitely there for Tyrese Haliburton to still be able to go out there and cook. Pascal Siakam, I do think this is a spot where we can get him back on track versus them so far in the season. He's only had 1 game where he dropped less than 30 fantasy points, but the other 2, 35 and 39 fantasy points. So upside definitely there, 7,600. It's been a while since I've called his name and been like, yo, I want to play Pascal. Just looking at the game logs, it has been a while. Going up against Bam, I know Bam is considered one of the more perennial defenders, but Bam's been mid lately. I'm gonna be very honest. Bam has been mid as hell. So definitely just go ahead and attack that. Take it. Go. Outside of that, going on to the other side, Miami Heat. If somehow, some way, Bam Adebayo decides, hey, you know what? My ankle hurts. I can't do it. Danger missing Friday's game against Indiana as he is dealing with a right calf contusion. That's weird, but okay. Because you say ankle on one thing and then all of a sudden you say calf contusion on another thing. Wiggins might miss. If Wiggins was to miss, I mean, everything's going to be on Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero will be the primary one that we can look towards. If any of these 2 guys miss, I would imagine that we're going to have to see Kyle Anderson either slid into the starting lineup or going to have to get some minutes. Again, slow-mo. Upside is definitely there for him. Would be someone I would look to. Davion Mitchell, of course, we can go there going up against the Hawks. 20 actual points, 6 assists, 2 steals, knocked it down 5 of 5 from 3. Fast-paced game going up against the Pacers. I don't mind going to it at all whatsoever. Definitely do think the upside could be there for him. And I can mess with that right there. I can definitely mess with that. Jaime Jaquez would be, of course, you guys know my love for Jaime. I could definitely pause. I could definitely go there to Jaime Jaquez at 4,300, especially if Bam and Wiggins were to miss. That would be the only way I would go there for some of these guys off the bench would be if these guys were to miss. If Bam misses, Khalil Ware is going to have to play all of the center minutes pretty much. Well, most of the center minutes that they're going to be able to have out there for him. Showed a little bit of consistency over his last 3 games, 36, 33, 29 fantasy points. Hopefully he will be able to go out here and do the same thing because the matchup is not bad for him. And I can see a world where he can go out here and give us 35, especially if he's able to knock it down from 3. 5,800, good price tag. Seeing that it's finally coming down from that 6K range that they have bumped him up into. I can mess with that 5.8. That's not bad at all for him. I would definitely take that right there. All right, if you guys have made it this far into the video, definitely, of course, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss any of the content. Means a lot. Definitely does help out the channel. The growth that I've been able to see over just this NBA season has been great. I do thank every single last one of you guys for watching the videos and tuning in. And again, wouldn't be able to do this without the support that I get from everybody. So thank you guys for watching. Pelicans, we literally seen this. Somebody has to sit or somebody has to be back in. But it's got to be something. Kelly Olynyk should be back today. If Kelly O is back, I do like going back to him. He was getting on a roll, at least for me, DFS wise, before they sat him in that last game versus the San Antonio Spurs, which is crazy. They are winning games now. They are on a 3-game win streak. Straight up, 3 straight games, both games versus San Antonio, which is so weird. They played a back-to-back versus what is up with the the Pelicans schedule is so stupid. Like, look at this. Like, wait. Well, I can't use Kelly O's schedule for it, but still, back-to-back games versus San Antonio Spurs. Back-to-back games versus the fucking Phoenix Suns. Like, come on. Come on, man. Y'all gotta do better. Kelly O would firmly be in play if he's going to actually be back today. I like the spot for him, but if they're going to start Carlo again, he didn't do too bad at all. 34 fantasy points at 4K was really phenomenal and great. Told you guys whoever got the start over here for the Pelicans was going to be a great value, and we should go ahead and look towards them to target them. I'm not going to chase the Zion triple-double game. Missed out on that train. It is what it is. When his price comes back down again, definitely can go there. But if you're going to tell me Zion is finally playing 30-plus minutes again, his production is only going to go up. It's going to go up, but I definitely would be hesitant with Zion because we do know that they're trying to manage injury and stuff like that. There's no reason to push him, especially on a back-to-back. I don't think that Zion's going to play. I really don't think that he's going to be in tonight. I think that he might actually sit and be out. So there should be some minutes opening up for someone to slide into the starting lineup. Maybe this would actually be the spot that we see Hawkins get slid into the starting lineup. 23 minutes, 24 fantasy points, played very well last night. Like I told you guys, decent value right there, even off the bench for them. But I would imagine that he should, out of everybody, Zion should sit. Like, he really should. If Zion sits, and Trey Murphy, of course, I will go right back to him. Started out very hot, very hot. Was 3 of 3 from 3. Looked like it was going to be a great Trey Murphy day, but then got stuck at 14 points and couldn't get nothing for the rest of the first half. And that was what, like 7 minutes ago in the second quarter. But Trey Murphy will go right back to the well there. Don't mind going to him. CJ McCollum, if no Zion, you could definitely mess with that if you want to. But I will say Jose Alvarado off the bench. The dude is a fucking menace. And right there at the 20 minutes, that's what they're giving him. If you want to slide Jose into the starting lineup, if you got Kelly O back, you slide Jose into the starting lineup, put CJ at the 2, put Trey Murphy back at the 3. I wouldn't mind that at all. So definitely, of course, pay attention to the starting line. I would be surprised if Zion actually plays again here. Over on the Phoenix Sun side, maybe they might actually sit someone over here. It's not like Phoenix is doing anything to be good this season, if we're being quite honest in regards to these guys. But KD, maybe tonight could be the KD night. You could definitely mess with that if you want to. But again, my money's on Bradley Beal, 7,100. They, of course, were able to jack his price up. But I would go there. He's playing 30 plus minutes a game, was rested pretty much last night in the exact same spot Devin Booker was in. And I would imagine he could put up Devin Booker numbers. Not going to say he can get us that 60 that D Book went out there and got, but I would be damn surprised if he doesn't come close to at least 45 of 50 in the exact same spot. Outside of that, Bobo, as long as they're starting him and he's hovering below 5.5, I can play this all day, every day, especially if you're going to tell me the production and upside is going to be there for him. I'll go right back to Bo. I don't mind that. I will say the last back-to-back that he played, because I want to say I played him, he didn't do too hot in these games versus Chicago and Toronto. But that was 13-7. There was one that he started. Yep, here we go. Versus Houston. 33 minutes, only 26 fantasy points. So it was but this is the Pelicans. It is a better matchup, better spot. So I'll still say again, I wouldn't mind Bo, but Bradley Beal is just like my flag plant that I want to get to, especially as long as he's actually in and he's going to play. I can go right there all day, every day. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Hopefully, you guys were able to get a little something from this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys made it all the way to the end, salute to you guys. Good luck. I will see you guys again next week on Monday. As always, keep cashing. All my course, everything else will be posted on the Patreon like I normally do. Like I said, I got some stuff coming for you guys on YouTube. Peace.